Search of the world's best sushi. I'll be eating this Michelin-starred sushi that costs $1,000 per meal, this $100 Wagyu sushi, and even sushi served from a conveyor belt. But we're starting our trip on a bullet train with a Toro bento box. Some of the best and highest end tuna you can get in the entire world. You can tell just by looking at it how high quality this tuna really is. And it is delicious. And I never thought I'd be eating sushi while traveling 300 miles an hour, but we're almost at our stop and I hear 7-Eleven has fantastic sushi as well. I'm gonna do some light reading until we arrive. Level 2, 7-Eleven sushi. I've never been in a 7-Eleven outside of the United States and I hear they're wonderful. I can't believe I'm buying sushi from a convenience store, but I'm excited. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of these salmon roe onigiris. I'm gonna try one of these sushi rolls. I'm also gonna grab this fish paste and mayonnaise sushi. This is a great haul. Arigatou gozaimasu. Let's eat. First up, we are gonna try the salmon roe and soy sauce onigiri. They separated the seaweed from the actual rice so the seaweed didn't get soggy. That's so simple, but it's so smart. But the tricky part here is that they're expecting you to know how to roll this up all on your own. Maybe I'm just overthinking it a little bit. That's unbelievable. I've got crispy seaweed, perfect rice, nice and salty, and fatty salmon eggs from a convenience store. Next up is this fish paste and mayonnaise square. I know imitation crab for people can be hit or miss, but personally, I love it. This one is literally just a perfect bite of this beautifully flaky fish. Once again, incredibly well cooked rice and a little bit of mayonnaise to smooth it all out. This is making me want to move to Japan. Next up, the tuna sushi roll with soy sauce. So once again, this looks like they have the sushi roll separate from the seaweed, but this one opened up way easier than the last one. Tell me that that doesn't look like the perfect sushi roll. This roll right here cost me less than $2. Whereas back home in the United States, if someone cut this up, this would probably cost $15. I will say there's not a whole lot of tuna in there, but I don't really care. That 7-Eleven sushi was fantastic, but I just realized we're late to our reservation at the Conveyor Belt Sushi Restaurant. Luckily, my friend Linja saved the day with a quick and easy way for us to make it there on time. We're playing Mario Kart through the streets of Tokyo in real life to get there. We barely made it. Let's go eat more sushi. We are sitting in the largest conveyor belt sushi restaurant in the entire world. And we got super lucky because we're right by the kitchen, so we get first choice at all the sushi that comes through. I can literally see everything he's doing back there.
We're gonna get all the good stuff.
We're gonna start off with some tuna. Oh, shoot. Whoa. Why was it attached? Oh, you only grabbed the plate? That was pretty good. The salmon with the toasted mayonnaise is my favorite thing that they have at conveyor belt sushi restaurants. Always a 10 out of 10. That is a hard pass from me. Absolutely not. You can also special order items, and then this super fast conveyor belt on top moves so that people along the way can't grab your food before it gets to you. Let's order a few. Here it is. For sushi that's flying off a conveyor belt, I will say that looks pretty good. It's good, but I don't like all that ginger. They've got aged fugu on here, which is the most dangerous sushi you can eat. We'll save that for later in the video. We're getting these salmon with cheese all day long. They are the best. I'm eating these 2 at a time. I also absolutely love salmon roe.
This is my favorite, shrimp tempura with mayo. Can't beat it.
Linja, how are you eating so much?
I'm hungry.
The food here was okay, but we're in Japan. I think we can do better. We are currently at a restaurant where you have to catch your own fish to eat. The catch with this restaurant is that all they give you is just a hook. So the fish don't really bite anything, you just have to hook them. And it's not easy. I'm getting a bit nervous that we're not gonna catch a fish, and if we don't catch a fish, we don't eat dinner. Manny, I see the one I want. I'm gonna hit him with the sneak attack.
Oh, oh.
Linja, get in that. Linja, get in that. Oh, I lost him. Ah, Linja. It's actually harder than it looks. We got one. To congratulate us on catching our fish, they performed a ceremony that involved the entire restaurant. Thank you. Wow, this is awesome. That only took them about 3 to 5 minutes in the kitchen, and you can watch them in there filleting your fish. And I gotta say, they bring your fish out in a pretty good presentation here. We worked hard to catch this fish. Now, it's time to taste.
It's so fresh.
I don't think I've ever eaten fresher sashimi in my life. This has been fun, but we're moving on to something bigger and better.
Wagyu sushi.
This is Hama, a Wagyu expert who runs Wagyu Mafia, a members-only Wagyu restaurant in Tokyo.
This is my tricolor Wagyu sushi. Wagyu sashimi, uni, sea urchin, and caviar. It has to be the best of everything. If you go cheap on one thing, that'll pull. My original wasabi, harvested in Azumino soy sauce. This is 8-year-old barrel aged. The best uni, the buffalo uni, #1 uni from Hokkaido, and my special caviar from Israel. Did I say?
Oh wow, this is a big piece of nigiri. 10:40 in the morning. If I could eat this every morning, I would.
Breakfast sushi?
I don't know if I can fit this. 美味しいです。
ありがとうございます。はい。
You know what? I think I finally found someone with more Wagyu than me. I'm gonna save some room because level 6 is insane. We're headed to meet a famous master sushi chef for a private lesson, but first I need a chef's knife. I stopped at the Zwilling knife factory in Japan to make a knife of my own. And the best part is I'll make an extra 10 knives to send to some of you. We'll start out with Japanese steel, and the first step is to weld the parts together at 4,000 degrees Celsius. Next, the knives are taken through a 1,000 degrees Celsius furnace and then cold shocked in a negative 200 degrees Celsius freezer. After the freezer, I straightened out a few knives by bashing them down with a hammer. It reminded me a bit of the mochi pounders we saw in Japan. I have a feeling they'd be pretty good at this. They let me hand assemble a few knives, and I'm gonna randomly pick 10 of you to send them to, straight from this factory in Japan. Just make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on. To finish, the knives are sharpened on a large spinning whetstone, then inspected to ensure each and every knife is flawless. And just like that, we've learned how to make the perfect Japanese chef's knife, and now it's time for some sushi. Today we'll be getting a sushi lesson from Chef Hiro, one of the best sushi chefs in all of Japan. The three of us are gonna watch carefully as Chef Hiro shows us how to make the perfect nigiri.
今日はこれは宮城県の天然本マグロです。これは本マグロの一番いいところ、天身って言います。
これでいくらですか？
ないしょ。
Chef Hiro cut with long strokes, starting from the back of the knife to the front, using as much of the blade as possible with each slice. As he gets close to the bottom, he turns the knife and cuts straight down. This, he says, is the proper technique. It's like we're all back in high school. Chef Hiro says that anyone can become a great sushi chef with study and practice. These days, even if you don't work in a restaurant, you can learn on YouTube. To prepare the nigiri, first wet your hands so the rice doesn't stick to them. Next, gently roll it around to add in some air. Make sure you place the cut mark at the front of the nigiri. Flip the fish over and coat it with fresh wasabi, then place down the rice. Press a hole with your thumb to add in even more air. To finish, flip the nigiri over and use your fingers to tighten up the edges. Now that we've gotten a sushi class, it's our time to try.
I'm feeling very nervous.
We each took turns following Chef Hiro's instructions to the best of our ability. Even though he was a great teacher, having a master sushi chef watch us make our nigiri was stressful. Finally, it was time for Chef Hiro to rate our sushi.
2点。4点。
Oh, I got you, Bayashi.
10点。
What's that?
10。
I got you, Linja.
Oh.
Chef Hiro is best teacher ever.
ありがとう。
With our sushi making lesson complete, we are now headed to try something called stand-up sushi. Hidden downstairs in this secret underground area is a place called stand-up sushi. Let's go check it out. What's your name?
Yoshi. Yoshi, sushi, oishi.
So the first piece we're getting is Hokkaido hairy crab. The crab may look a little scary, but the meat is extremely sweet. So with this, you use your fingers, your hands to eat. Holy that's good.
It's delicious. Oishi.
Yoshi!
Yoshi, sushi.
The second piece is shrimp with a bit of soy sauce on top. It's so sweet. Next up we have chutoro, which is the medium fatty tuna. Oh my god, a little spicy too with the wasabi. It makes total sense that we're at level 7 right now. Just watching the way his hands move, this is definitely the most advanced sushi we've seen so far. You can tell he's a true master.
This one was just moving a second ago.
Super cool, huh?
Yeah, it is. Every experience is so special. I love it.
Is this your favorite?
Number 1.
This is number 1.
Yeah, aburi no kato.
What's that mean? When he just made this piece, he went and seared it in the back, and he called himself the searing master.
Aburi no kato.
Wow.
Wow.
That was top 3 bite of sushi I've ever had.
Yoshi, sushi, oishi.
We're gonna go get some sleep because we're waking up at 4 in the morning to go to the fish market. For level 8, we visited the largest and most exclusive fish market in the entire world. We woke up early to meet a friend of mine who works at the market, then tossed on our boots and undercover gear and set off to find some of the best sushi we'd probably ever taste. As we walked through, I couldn't believe what laid before my eyes. The fish market was 4.3 million square feet. They had every type of seafood imaginable. I literally felt like a kid on Christmas morning. We eventually found an area with tons and tons of tuna, which, just like the sea urchin we'll see shortly, is sold through an auction early each morning, some of which sell for up to $3 million for a single tuna. Eventually, we headed to the best uni vendor in the entire market to see if we could buy ourselves a nice tray. They opened a number of different trays for me to look at, and even cut me a few small samples to give them a taste. If you've never tried uni before, it's buttery, slightly salty, and very delicious. It cost me 28,000 yen, or about $200 US, but my trip to the market didn't yet feel complete. As we left the uni area, we passed passed by a tank of the biggest crabs I'd ever seen. That thing is huge. These were Japanese spider crabs, and I couldn't help but try one out. We purchased the crab, then carried it to the back of the fish market to cook it up. To cook the king crab, we heated up a massive pot of water and boiled it for about 20 minutes. What we're gonna do with this crab is place it down on the counter, and then we'll take our incredible uni that we bought earlier and eat this with the crab. To eat this, I'm breaking off one of the legs, then I'll crack it and pull out those tendons, crack it again, and hopefully that meat will come clean out. And this right here might possibly be the best bite of sushi I ever have. Cheers. That's crazy. I'm just hunched over a box in the back of a Japanese fish market, eating some of the best food and sushi I've ever had in my entire life. That was delicious, but like I said, each level gets crazier and crazier. And now I'm a bit scared because we're on our way to eat the most dangerous sushi in the entire world. It's called fugu, also known as a highly poisonous puffer fish. If not prepared correctly, it can paralyze you and even kill you. And it has killed many people in the past. This will be, without a doubt, the most dangerous food I have ever eaten. I'd seen quite a few live puffer fish at the fish market, so I could only hope that the chef tonight had gotten it safely and responsibly from them. So the chef said this restaurant has been doing this for 47 years, and that this puffer fish is wild. It's not farmed, it's from the ocean, which actually means it's even more dangerous to eat. They finished preparing the sashimi and served it to us with a squeeze of lime juice, along with a special sauce containing some chives, radish, chili powder, and soy sauce. For some reason, I trust the chefs back there, but I am a little nervous.
I'm not.
This could kill us. Linja, don't do that. Linja, sit up. It's a little bit chewier than I thought it would be. I don't know how long the effects take to kick in if it's bad, but so far, I'm doing okay. And I really hope we can pull through after this, because what we're doing next, you're not gonna wanna miss. It's here, the best sushi I'll have ever tasted in my entire life. Level 10, Michelin-starred sushi. This is Chef Kazu. He's been making sushi for 14 years. He let us back into his kitchen to watch some of his prep work before our meal. But before we begin, we need some fresh ginger. Whoa. His knife skills make me want to go back to culinary school. And speaking of knife skills, thanks again to Zwilling for helping us out with our trip to Japan. Watch till the end to see which 10 of you have been randomly selected to win a brand new chef's knife. So we're starting out with the abalone liver sushi, which is their specialty here. My first ever bite of Michelin-starred sushi. That's unbelievable. It's a much more subtle liver than what I'm used to. It's so simple, but it's so good. Next up, he'll be preparing the black throat sea perch, which, if you remember, was our favorite bite from the stand-up sushi we had, and probably of the entire trip. But it also just so happens to be one of the most expensive fish alongside top-tier tuna. I can only imagine what it's gonna taste like at Michelin level. The seaweed is so crispy and super, super flavorful, but not overpowering. That's gonna be hard to beat. It's crazy in a restaurant like this how much focus goes into every little bite. And this is certainly the biggest and most beautiful spread that we've seen so far. The final bite of this entire video happens to be my favorite food in the entire world, some sea urchin. We've seen sea urchin all over Japan on this trip. Not to mention it's from Hokkaido, meaning this is the best sea urchin you can get anywhere in the world. That's crazy. He knows it's good too. Yes. Now I can die happy. Congratulations to the 10 random subscribers who've won a chef's knife. I'll find you in the comments below.